Welcome today to this talk. My name is Daphne Rupain. I'm French. I've been living in Ecuador for 7 years now, and I'm happy to share with you the journey we have within Banco Pichincha Ecuador for 3 years now, how we've been establishing human-centered design culture within a really old Ecuadorian bank. So there it was quite interesting because in 2018, Banco Pichincha wanted to transform digitally, and they called me to see how we could manage the implementation of human-centered design culture within this bank. So it was quite challenging because if you think about Ecuador, Ecuador wasn't necessarily really advanced regarding human-centered design culture, regarding customer experience. So we had like really huge challenges there, and I think it was quite fascinating. Although you can think that if a really huge bank like Banco Pichincha in Ecuador, which is taking care of all the different way of the different kind of clients you can have, like from microfinance to huge companies, could change the way of designing its services, could change the way of thinking and working by being centered with the human. It could have a really fascinating social and financial impact for the people, for the country. So that was quite fascinating. So when we start the challenge there, we start with a really small team of designers. We're like 5 or 6, and the idea was to start with, okay, what would be our vision, like a design team within the bank? So we wanted to impact the bank culture, to build inclusive products and services. We wanted to make sure that through systematization, democratization, socialization of people-centered design practices, we could generate a social and positive impact for the country. So that was quite interesting because getting that vision helped us to really think together and to be super motivated to guide and to start working with multidisciplinary product teams. So to make sure that those new squads could start working with that vision, the idea was, like in this first year, to start with 3 squads and to design an onboarding, a human-centered onboarding, obviously, so that people could start working, understanding the needs of the people, the context of the people, the information they need to investigate about business, about process, about people, to make sure that we could redesign a better solution, better product, better services for our clients. So here you have, for example, the Double Diamond, which is a really famous framework of working within design. We haven't invented anything. We just started enhancing it and traduce it as well, because you don't have so many topics, so many content in Spanish. And so we've started to homologate like a toolkit, so that people could get access to that knowledge, use that knowledge, being a bit autonomous about using it. The interesting thing here is that during those 2 weeks of onboarding that each squads had at the beginning, all the multidisciplinary team, like the architects, the product owner, the designer, the back, the DevOps, the front-end developer, all of us, we go to investigate with clients in real context to make sure that we understand the reality of our clients. So this helped us a lot to change the way of thinking, to change the culture, and to make sure that people could start building something together. The idea of the 2 weeks onboarding was to, okay, I'm going to investigate to define the good problem, and then I would think with my stakeholders, with my team, with clients, what the solution could be, and iterate it with clients. The idea was at the end of the onboarding to get like a gallery walk with stakeholders, with the C-level of the bank, to share all this user-centered vision, so that people could understand why we are getting that kind of decision, and why we should go and prioritize that way of designing this product or this service. And it was quite fantastic to sensitize with our stakeholders, to share knowledge with the client point of view. That was the first time within the bank. It was quite fascinating. So at the beginning, we had like the 100 assignment model, like it's a bit the perfect model when you have each time people for each team. So we had like for each squad, one UX and one UI. This is fantastic at the beginning when you have small teams. It worked really well at the beginning because we had 3. There, you have to think that within the bank, we had like a 2 years roadmap to implement, when we had like a vision of nearly 15 squads within 2 years to get them in shape, to make sure that people could start redesigning services and products. And the thing is that we've been so efficient that the first year we've done the 2 years roadmap just in 1 year. So we've grown really fast, and we've failed so much regarding so many things about, for example, about how we could get people on board within the team, within the design team, how we could share knowledge about research. We really had a strong barrier between us because we were so many teams in parallel that it was going really fast, and it was really difficult to share good knowledge between all of us. So to start sharing better, to start getting like a design chapter working properly, we started like with 1 hour community of practice within the chapter, and we had like each week one topic to share. Okay, look, I'm good at research. I just love these sketching methods to ideate. I just love the crazy 8 or the Tix hats methods or whatever. And look, I've just learned about nudge or things like that, and we were like sharing each week one topic to make sure that we were learning together. The thing is, by growing so fast, we understood that we had like design depths, research silos, really huge complexity of design system adoption and things like that. And we would need more time of the design chapter to make sure that we could scale in the future and to be more efficient altogether. So what we've learned at the beginning, the first year, the second year, we understood that we had great results. For example, before you open a bank account with many documents, it could take 1 week. You have to go to the agency or things like that. Afterwards, just 7 minutes digitally, wherever you were, you could manage it. So regarding financial inclusion, it was quite amazing. Also, if you think regarding sustainability and using of documents and paper, physical documents, it was quite interesting to reduce the impact as well on that way. The customer satisfaction regarding all the products was quite fantastic. For example, we had before an all app, which were with an external provider, and the satisfaction of the users in general within the store were 2.2 or things like that. And afterward, we were like starting to be the best app within the country. We wanted to compare us with the best one in the world, and starting to get a scoring of more than 4 within the store. So that was quite amazing. But on the other part, we understood that we had many challenges regarding that, for example, to recruit people, which could be within design, within advanced analytics, within technology, that 20% of our talents come from abroad. Not necessarily the academy within Ecuador was ready to respond to the market, the labor market. So we really have to face that kind of thing. So we've learned that we had to support the local and regional ecosystem to develop talents, that we have to be the partner to develop partnership and alliance with universities, with boot camps, and things like that. We also started to design our own trainee program. So we started with design trainee program, and the idea was like within 4 months, 6 months, you can enter with us within a squad. For example, you're going to be always with one mentor from, if for example you've chosen the UX design program or the UI design program, you're going to be with the adequate mentor full-time within the squad during 4 or 6 months to make sure that you could start in the future a junior role within our company or in another company, but to make sure that we could provide talent to respond to the needs of the market. We also started to build our own experience academy within the bank, so that people could reskill and things like that. So this is the new one that we are going to experiment within a few months. So it could be quite fascinating to present it in another event. Something that was really fascinating to get people on board with us was the way of communicating. It's many times people think that design would be like graphic design or to get a really nice interface for the clients and just to see the front parts. But at the end, you really have to think about the back part. So here, for example, I just love the metaphor of this apparatus about explaining design with a donut. Design, it's how it works. So you have to think about the product design. You have to think about the user experience design, about the user interface design, the service design, to really think how things are fluid in the back to make sure that people would have really good experience. And all of this is going to make the experience design, the experience you're going to live, the emotions you're going to live when you're going to interact with our company. So this was quite interesting because it allows us to understand that each of us has a role to play to rethink the way of how are we working, how are we operating, how are we building new services, new products, and to get everybody on board. So to think, this was, as I said, that at the beginning, we had like nearly in 1 year, we've done 2-year roadmap. We got like from 3 squads to 15 squads. We had many challenges to face to make sure that we would provide a really good experience for our client, but also that we could have a really strong design team, motivated, learning always, and things like that, and to make sure that people would be more efficient as well to redesign the services and the products. And we understand that within the bank, before we had like a customer experience area, a chapter design area. So we had to think how we can manage to get everybody with the same vision within the company to a bit be like the ally within the company to always think about the customer. So in 2021, we've built the Experience Center of Excellence. And the idea here was, okay, like Banco Pichincha, we want to build our experience vision. So we want to be a simple, a close, human bank that provides sustainable relationships and memorable memories. We want to generate a positive impact on people and society. So that was our vision. And to make sure that this vision could start building within the company and outside the company, we've started to structure the new area, which is the COE. So we've built at the beginning of the year, it wasn't like that. In March, it was also differently. In June, it was also differently. So this is the new structure we had, we've built in September. So for example, we had like a customer experience squad, which is going to focus on measuring, listening the voice of the customer, which is going to understand how we could rethink the experience and to make sure that we reduce those pains people could live when they are interacting with our brand. So we have a multidisciplinary team with starting, for example, at the beginning of the year with just customer experience designers, and we understood really quickly that we need experts in analytics, data engineer, experts in measuring, things like that, to make sure that this could start to build better knowledge of the clients, and to make sure that all the teams which are redesigning, or all the areas which need to get better customer experience, could have insight from the customers. On the other part, we had to rethink the way of working from the 100 assignment model we had before, and to think about, okay, now we're going to work not with squads, but with tribes. One tribe could have 4 squads, 8 squads, regarding the size of the tribe. So we had to think there, okay, so each tribe will have like a pool of designer. Each pool of designer for one tribe would have, for example, a chapter of UI, a chapter of UX, chapter of design ops, regarding the topics they have to manage, to make sure that we can work better together to get a better experience, customer experience at the end. So here it's quite interesting, because each quarter or each 6 months, we're going to think about how we should rotate people regarding the needs of the clients of the organization. So here you really have to think always about how you should prioritize which person would fit better within each for which product or for which service or thing like that. So here it's quite interesting, and you really have to think, how can I evaluate always the strengths of my teams? For example, which topics do I have to make sure that people learn during this quarter, so that we could provide a better service for the organization in the future, or things like that. So it's really challenging about developing, about enhancing the way people are working, the knowledge of our teams, the motivation of our teams, and things like that. As I said before, at the beginning, we had like a 1 hour week to practice to get a community of design within the bank. We understood that the design system couldn't build itself because we don't have like a team for the design system yet. So we couldn't build, for example, a design system in 1 hour a week. So we've negotiated and we've experimented with other chapters that what would happen if, instead of getting people nearly full-time within the squads, we'll have like 80% of their time within the squad and tribes, and 20% of the time doing chapter works, working, sharing knowledge or things like that within the chapters, to make sure that we are building regarding the scale we wanted to get. So we've experimenting that with 3 chapters within the bank. It was quite interesting, because the results were good. The knowledge we were building was better. We could build, for example, the playbooks, the toolkit. We have been experimenting about a repository of insights. We're starting with design clinics, with design critics, things like that. It's quite interesting, but also you have to think, because many times it's okay, but why are you doing so many things or things like that? Okay, we have always to think how we can, regarding the vision and strategic vision of the organization, the strategic vision of the Center of Excellence, what should be the initiatives we should prioritize as a chapter, as a design chapter in each quarter. So this was quite a learning also for us, because we are also like design teams are creative teams. We want to do everything and things like that. So we have to focus and to build really to be constant and to be better and stronger, and to make sure that we could stay on the future. For example, this quarter, as we know that in the future we will have like other tribes, also that we are starting with the first 3 tribes within the bank. We are evaluating the strengths of our people and the knowledge of our people to make sure that we could start a practical community, we could get better knowledge transfer to make sure that people would enhance their competence to respond to the future needs of the organization. Also, in parallel of that, with the customer experience squad, the idea is to make sure that we are positioning us like a business partner for the organization, to make sure that the organization is going to empathize with customer insights and to help also the organization to be more autonomous to improve the customer experience. So we have a multidisciplinary team which is working about customer analytics, customer improvement, customer success. This is a transversal collaboration with different areas of the organization to understand that the pains of our clients and to guide the organization regarding the redesign we should consider, we should prioritize to make sure that we could provide a better customer experience. So each month we had a service committee where we are always looking the pains, the reasons of those pains to make sure that we understand the good problems. And from this commission, we're going to have 2 opportunities to manage our customer experience. One would be like orchestrating and prioritize initiatives that enhance the customer experience. And there, like the Center Excellence is just like an area which is going to help the other ones to map the pains, to map solutions, to define and prioritize moments in which we're going to, I don't know, for example, in January, this would be done, in March, this would be done, and things like that, to make sure that we are going to get impact. And here you have a continued loop where the customer experience squad is going to measure the impact in the future, the outcome, to see how it's evolving. And on the other part, we are starting with a new way of helping areas which not necessarily have people on experts in experience. And there, the idea is to get, for example, 2 mini squads of customer experience designer, which are going to work on interventions to redesign things within the organization. And the idea here, it's like a bit using the onboarding model that we've seen before to get in shape within the area, to share knowledge about customer experience, to get the vision of the area centered with the customer, and to get like a backlog of initiative within the area. But those mini squads are going also to be part of the redesign of this initiative to help those areas to provide a better customer experience. So these are the learnings we had and the things we've been experimenting nearly for 3 years now within the bank. And now we can understand that as we know that we're going to continue to evolutionate, we have like some new challenges coming. For example, guarantee that we get better decision done regarding at the different level of the bank, from operational to tactical to strategic, and to make sure the clients is always included there as business, as technology, or whatever variable we would be using to prioritize. Also, we really have to guarantee that we start to drill down the experience metrics across the entire organization. And when we are thinking about the experience metrics, for example, the bank, we are focusing on the NPS at a global level, but we have to think maybe all the areas needs to focus on other kind of indicators to be complementary and to make sure that we're going to move this the experience for our clients. So sometimes it could be satisfaction, customer efforts, processes, satisfaction between areas or with providers. It could be first contact resolution. You have so many churn or things like that. You have so many indicators that can help you move the NPS. So we have to make sure that each tribes, each areas has this clear to make sure that we're going to get to a really good net promoting score and a really good experience for our clients. And at the end, something that I really want to share with you, I think a really good way to continue to evolutionate and to learn from each other. It's always like thinking about we are so many building the same way of teams, the same way of working within our company. All of us, we have different contexts, a different culture, and different knowledge, and we've been experimenting, all of us, within our company. So, for example, we are collaborating regularly with Rabobank. We've started with DirecTV recently. We've been sharing with PayPal, with IKEA, with Scotiabank, with BBVA. The idea is like to guarantee that we continue transfer and experiment together, because I think that the community is huge. People are always happy to share. So it's quite interesting to think about that. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I hope it was useful, and that you've learned some tips and tricks maybe or things like that to build a better customer experience for your clients, and also to develop like a better human-centered design culture within your organization. If you have any question, if you would like to share with me any topic, or also if you would like that our team starts thinking together, I would be happy to connect with you through LinkedIn. Thank you very much.